Closets are some of those spaces that we use every day, and while they have to be functional, we might not think so much about if they look appealing to us or not visually. I decided I wanted to dress up my master closet to make it both more functional and more visually appealing. I also wanted to turn this pull string light into an actual light fixture with a switch. I was on a very tight budget, and I also didn't want to mess with electrical, so I had to get creative. The first thing I knew I wanted to do was create a focal wall using some peel and stick wallpaper. I had picked this out back in the fall, and I finally got around to doing this project just a few weeks ago. After cleaning the walls, I used a level and a pencil to draw a straight line all the way down the wall vertically. This was my starting point to line up my first roll of the paper. Because these wooden shelves are not easily removable, I was going to have to work around them, which was going to be a bit awkward, but not impossible. I also want to note that our walls are lightly textured. Now, most manufacturers will tell you not to use peel and stick wallpaper on textured walls, but my advice would be, if you really want to use it, buy a sample of the wallpaper and hang it up for a few weeks. See how well it sticks, see if you like how much the texture does or does not show through the paper. Heavier papers and more complex patterns, as well as smaller patterns, will tend to show texture less than simpler patterns and thinner paper. I was really happy with how the wallpaper looked. It was gorgeous and just what I had pictured. And I didn't think originally that I was going to paint the shelves, but after the wallpaper was up, I decided that I did want to paint the shelves to better fit the aesthetic I was going for. Obviously, it would be a lot easier to paint before you put up your wallpaper, but plans change and that's okay. So I just did some careful taping around all the shelves and the baseboards and the wallpaper, and everything went just fine. I was going for a vintage garden feel, so I chose Behr Paint's Milkweed Pod, which is kind of a funny name, but it's a really pretty vintage green. I painted the baseboards in the same color, but I actually did not bother to tape. I used note cards and I tucked them in between the baseboard and the wall and the baseboard and the floor, and I would rotate them as I went, allowing the used ones to dry, and I just used those all the way across the baseboard and it worked really well. To fix the problem of the ugly light bulb with the dangling string, I bought this adapter off Amazon, which will turn any socket into a switched light using Bluetooth. It was so simple to install. You just unscrew your light bulb, screw in the adapter, and then screw your light bulb back into the adapter. You can remove your string, and then the remote is so easy to set up. The remote comes with a backplate and screws, but I ditched that and hung it right inside my closet door using command picture hanging strips, and it was so simple. To dress up the Behr bulb and make it look more like a light fixture, I found this cute little clip-on shade that's kind of a tulip shape and goes with my vintage garden theme, and it just pops right on over the bulb. For added organization, I got these pretty baskets to keep on the shelves. They will store extra clothes and various other items. My husband isn't a big fan of baskets, but he agreed to let me put 1 or 2 on his side to house some odds and ends, and we just compromised on neatly stacked, folded clothing on his shelves. For some finishing touches, I added this round floral rug I found on Amazon. I just love the pattern, and I think the colors go so well with my theme in the closet. I've linked everything below if you're interested. I also found this vintage painting at the thrift store and thought it would be the perfect touch for the wall. A few years ago, I found this lovely little blue and white plate at the thrift store for only $1, and I thought the mountain would go perfectly with the mountains in the background of the painting. The pattern is called Old Man of the Mountain by Wedgwood. Thank you so much for joining me for this project. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more cottage living, and I'll see you next time.